Yes, sir.
Okie dokie, welcome boys. So, I think what we should start with, I'm gonna make little announcements real quick, blah blah blah, and then we should talk about what we learned from the 101 game between Nave and Marcel, I think, right? We didn't do that yet.
Yeah, I've got some notes. We can go over them and then like start from there. Did you have anything written down, Tommy?
No, not really yet. But I have it still in my brain, I think.
Okay, I have bullet points and we'll start from there, just for structure, I guess.
So first of all, for the chat and everyone, announcements are I am looking to do more of these showcase 101s, because I think these 101s are great for beta testing. They show us a lot of what's going on. Marcel won it, and I got two amazing players, the finalists of the Speed 5 event. That guy from college is gonna fight C-Mobs. Now that's really good players. These guys are actually very high level players. Thank you, Swapper. And they will fight the 101. We have to look for the date, because college is from the US, C-Mobs from Germany. I'm now officially... Wait, it's actually open. Wait. Yeah, destination's open. Every single donation until that game, gonna take like a week or 2 weeks, will be the prize pool of this best of 5. This time a best of 5. I'm gonna make more time so we have more data. I like how my ghost here. That's going on. And another thing, what the fuck is my green screen? One sec, I have to fix my green screen. One sec. And another little announcement is that, yeah, that looks much better, is that I had this, you know, guys, I got really cool information from the YouTube video about the 101 mod. There was really cool comments. And one guy had a really cool comment that said, I love that, King of the Hill stream. That's something I'm looking, that sounds fun. Like we have a 4-hour stream, King of the Hill. People fight each other 101 mod. If you lose, you're out, a new player joins in, and whoever is the king at the end gets money. That's interesting. Also, there's some bugs found, but that's the first announcements. And today, chat, we're talking with the developers of the mod, this future mod that will be the mod for the 101 Hoi 4 League, and in early December, the Hoi 4 International, sponsored by, I think, Paradox, I can't say that, probably sponsored by Paradox, maybe Steel Series, and other sponsors. Biggest event on the channel, and yeah, we're now gonna brainstorm stuff. I'm giving it over to Danger, what he's written down. Let's talk about what we found out lately.
Okay, I'll go over some really obvious ones we know we want to fix, not really anything to discuss. We know the conditions, the win condition for points is not tuned properly. So that's the points that tick down when you take cities, right, as you play through. So that's two different fixes. One, we are going to reduce the total amount of points, obviously.
Have you thought of a number or something?
It's your suggestion and the one we were thinking of, between 750 and 1,000, right? It's either of those. But the other trick is, and we'll get into this later, we are rebuilding the map in some ways, and we are adding more points to a capture to take points down. So we don't want to go too low too fast, because it's going to be moving faster with the same amount of points. But anyways, long story short, though, we have solutions for this. We're working on it. So
that's the if you don't, always to explain the chat. Last time, one player was really beating the other, but the points ticked down so slowly it didn't really get anywhere. So we're thinking of a 750. But you want to change the map now. Then we
are already doing it.
Yeah. Then we have the big bug that this lake is you can walk into this lake. That's something.
Yeah, we fixed that right away.
Oh, that's already fixed. Okay, let's talk about that. And we have the victory point fix. Then what else you got written down? Wait, did I mute? Wait, I muted, right? Did I? No.
At the bottom end of what we want, but we definitely want it to be closer to 30 and 40 minutes. Mm-hmm. So overall, we know that's a little too fast. And I think there's a couple reasons for that. I think, and we can discuss this. This is like an open discussion, but I think we have a little bit too much stockpile at the start of the game. There's a lot of people who you can just do infantry spam, which is what Marcel was doing, right? Which is like super high quality infantry, push the entire map, and the tanks get overpowered. So we know that's something we want to look at. So kind of reducing it.
Okay. Possible starting stockpile. Okay. I'm muting myself again. Fuck. Sorry. When I write stuff, I mute my. It's fucking retarded. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So stockpile adjustments. I think that's what I think is one of the things we should do. The other thing is the research trees. I think we want to. If you look at them, there's a couple that are like, in my mind, unnecessarily deep, and I did the setup for this, so it's just kind of adjustments. But if you look at things like having weapon 1 there, or having some of the artilleries already, we could remove that and go all the way to the top of the research tree. So if you look at like artillery, you just give RD1 and let them have to path into improvements and then RD2. Because as an example, Marcel was just instantly researching artillery 2, and he already has very good artillery. So that's an example of like, we can slow that down by you start at artillery 1 now instead of 1.5. Does that make sense?
I don't understand. You don't want a player to get artillery 2 too fast, so the steps between artillery 1 and artillery 2 should be longer.
No, we're just going to... You're going to start the game without anti-air 1, artillery 1.5
Oh, you mean
here.
taking this one
We're going to
away
go all the
into
way to the top.
artillery.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to go all the way to the top
yeah,
of
okay,
research.
okay. Okay,
We're going to do that, I think. Okay, that sounds good, because if we want to do that, just slow that stuff down. And that's across all the pages, too. There's a couple areas where we can slow it down.
Yeah, that was something I was thinking about, how when I checked them out, that some things are already pre-given, actually. I don't see anything right now other than artillery. Yeah, artillery is kind of the only one. Or maybe... Yeah, tanks.
Yeah, artillery is the big one, because also what we noticed was, as you saw in the game, is infantry is very strong, right? And so what's part of infantry is a lot of this stuff is the artillery 2, early research rush, and stuff like that.
Okay.
Other stuff, I don't know what you think about it, but it feels like the economies are accelerating really fast because we use that button to boost your production. Like we know we do the efficiency gain buff if you look at the decisions there.
Yeah.
It feels like things accelerate very fast. Like basically the players in the 90 days, they do their researches and then they just click that button and it's like it's total war from that point straight on.
Mm-hmm.
Where you just take your production efficiency, just go straight to 100% if you did your like focus rush, and then we're just like they just smash into each other like at full speed. It feels like we do want to have more of an early game that's a little bit slower and let the production lines kind of build up slowly over time through the game. I don't know what you think about that, but to me, I feel like we're going too fast.
Oh, I can't say anything about that right now. I don't have the speed feeling inside of me right now.
Okay.
It would be nice to hear what Nathan Marcel said, but they're not here right now.
We had one feedback on the build-up industry that the production efficiency gain doesn't actually do anything, or like relatively, which is something we need to swap it out with something else.
I actually want to get into this wider topic too, and hear what you say. If you open up the focus tree, Tommy, for economy, the path right now it seems like, and what Marcel was doing was he'd go flexible and then just down production, right?
Yeah.
And obviously because efficiency cap is super strong. My question is like, and I'm looking at this like as a game designer, right? The technology trees have efficiency cap already built into them, right? Like you can go into industry and go down the left side and get all your cap to 100% if you want, right? Do we need to have it in both focuses and the techs? Because in my mind, we just going, okay, great, this is handled in technology, just leave it there. We put efficiency cap nowhere in the focus tree, so you can't do this like double. You get a focus for efficiency cap and you're getting tech for efficiency cap, and suddenly in the first like 2 minutes you have max efficiency cap. I don't think that's good. But I'm curious what you guys think.
That sounds like a question
that
really has to be answered by more data from beta testing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
If it's really so strong. In the end, you could maybe just make it 5% or 10%. That's really hard to answer. It would be nice to see more games, and then that's why I want to do more events to get more data, so we can really see if that is taken very often.
Okay, yeah, we can put that on hold for now, but it's just an idea for now.
100%. Needs to see how that works. Yeah.
That's my thought. So yeah, I'll tell you what my thoughts are without saying we're gonna change anything. My thoughts are like the efficiency cap stuff. Like it's in the text. We leave it there. It's fine. You know, like vanilla handles that already. It has it in the nice little order on the side. It has the times already allotted to it.
Production 1 be replaced with then? Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah. So yeah, we'd have to figure all that out. How we would restrict.
Thank you for tier 3, man. Yeah, that's a good question. That needs really data. Yeah, that's deep shit. That's deep shit. Yeah, what else you got?
Same thing in production. One of the things I don't like about how flexible has access to the same buffs in the production line that build-up does. And it basically just does what build-up does, but better. It feels like if you go down flexible should have less bonuses than the outside ones do. Because it's flexible. The strength of flexible is not that you can do everything as well as everything else, is that you can do whatever you want, just not as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, balance shouldn't be also the best at build up and also the best at aggressive. You know what I mean?
And that's just once again such a deep question of testing, right? You
Yes,
need
absolutely.
like 100 games, and if they all go flexible after a while, when a meta is established, then obviously there's a problem. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's hard to answer right now. Yeah.
Well, for sure. Moving on, there is some talk we haven't decided yet, but we wanted to do probably some rebalancing around armor in terms of the costs for upgrading armor on your tanks. Nave says it's just not cost efficient in vanilla to up armor your tanks, especially if a person's doing like an anti-tank rush, which was what Marcel was doing. Like basically he couldn't answer it once he made that decision. Do you know what I mean? And that's one thing to look into, is that we actually might do some kind of rebalancing for costs for armor on tanks for the designers.
That's a good data to take from the game, yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, like, we're doing some reworks to the middle of the map. We are going to rework the middle area because obviously there's only one supply hub that's worth capturing right now, and it's the bottom center one.
Yeah.
And that's too straightforward. Like, it's too much. Like, we want to have more options.
Yeah.
Hello.
On top of that, hey Lou.
What's up, Len?
On top of that,
Hello, mate.
we know that the desert and the north being unusable is horrible, and we are going to open that up. We're gonna we're not doing the focus route right now that we were talking about of like, oh, if you take this focus, you get this thing. We're just going to make it more playable. We're gonna spread out at least one more supply hub per area as a start, just so there is some access for the player. Because right now it's just a wall. You can't use it.
And that's a perfect learning from the 3 games, yeah.
Have you showed him what we've done? What I've done to the middle?
I haven't. I can send him the pictures. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah. Because I've pretty much done the middle. We're gonna obviously touch up the north and the south, as I'm sure they've been explaining. Whack a few more supply hubs, actually make it so that area gets used.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the big things we noticed when we watched the match the other day. Is that like
That's very
they don't even
interesting
bother
to see
with
other
the-
games too, yeah.
Yeah,
If some players, because when I watched the game, I felt like if a player had more or was more active on the map, they would have been more active on north and south. But there was just so much happening in the middle. But also it showed often when, if you look at my stream here, when a player pushed like here, they will start getting such attrition issues that it wasn't really worth for them to get deeper.
That's exactly what we're gonna fix.
yeah. That's part of the problem. Yeah, definitely.
Where are you here?
And just real quick, one thing I would like to do and see is a more complex focus tree that has some more options. And one idea to make focuses more interesting is a focus tree that lets you focus on lanes. For example, there's a choice, north, middle, or south. And if, for example, a player presses the south one, your railways in a supply hub get improved. So I want to make it attractive to players. What I felt in the game is they finish the industry, then they take their tanks, and then I get the planes. Boom. I'm a big fan of the focuses. And then they don't care about anything else anymore. I think it's important for us as developers to make it very attractive for players to do certain things, to do certain focuses, to stay active in the focus trees and not just always do the same. Here's my tanks, here's my air, here's my industry.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's,
for sure.
that's something bigger to talk about later.
Yeah, well, we can talk about it a little bit now. Like, the idea is to expand in that when we get to the nations, right? Is to like, these focuses were about like spawning tanks. Okay, spawn the air, and then spawn your industry, and then like let's just test, right? How big is the map? Does this make sense? Do we have enough supply? Do we have enough of this? We're learning those things now. That's good. The question is now to add this flavor. We want the nations. Go ahead, Lou. Jump in.
Is it gonna be a problem if we have it as direct focuses, where if you see, oh, my opponent's he's going top lane, I'm just gonna go smash to the bottom lane now? That's the only issue I could possibly see. To fix that, maybe we could just do it maybe it's a decision or something. Like you pick the focus and that pops up with an event or something, or not an event, a decision, and you just click the decision and it says, okay, you're focusing this.
In that way, I always think of a caster standpoint, and a caster never sees decision making.
Yes.
That's
yeah.
As a caster, I like to see, oh, he's going for some spawn lane focus. The decision, unfortunately, isn't shown for the viewer.
Yeah. No, I take that point. I think that we have definitely been, as I say, I slipped and said events initially, but I remembered, yeah, we were avoiding that. We're avoiding that shit for precisely that reason. But yeah, that was my only thing, is that, just from a comp standpoint, is it going to be really easy just to counter the other guy's play if you can see what he's doing?
Okie dokie. But
I'm not a player.
Yeah.
So I sent you the north one, Tommy, if you want to look at the conversation we're in, the picture of the north update, what we're going to be doing. And this is, so to an extra little caveat, to save time, we're not rebuilding the structure of the map. We are just taking what we have and changing what the tile terrain is.
I like that, but the first thing my brain tells me is that certain players will be very scared by this. Like, players will be like, I'm gonna go into the plains in the middle, I don't wanna fuck with this mountain forest shit.
Well, then they're shit.
Yeah, then there's their problem. I agree with that.
Right? Like, no, shouldn't, well, I maybe that's too harsh, but you know what I mean? Like, so the idea is that each area too, like the north plays in its own way. The north is more mountains and forest, right? That is the north biome. And the desert, I'll send you the desert in a second. Obviously, it's desert and like hills. And we are also changing middle as well.
I like that though. I like that. Is that because you want to get away from this plain fighting that we saw with Nathan and Marcel here in the plain area?
Yeah,
it's not that we want to get away from it. It's that we can't only have one supply hub, right?
Yeah.
It felt like it was like this is a battle for the middle, and then also there's the occasional like secondary little poke in the south. Like that, it doesn't actually matter. The middle is the only thing that matters. We want to try and get away from that. Sorry.
Yeah, makes sense.
How do we make the north more attractive? Like to the point where people focus it.
Also the desert, obviously. No one ever did anything in the desert.
Yeah, no one did that.
I didn't mention this part too. We want to increase the amount of resources that are in the center pillar of the map. So, example, there will be more chromium in the middle of the north compared to the back of the north, and we're going to put more oil in the desert out of like the capital. We're going to move it into the desert more, so there's more reason to take it.
That sounds perfect. That's perfect balancing after the game. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah.
So I will post. This is the desert. If you want to look at that picture. Also, Nath mentioned how it's very hard to capture supply hubs when they're all on urban tiles, so we're going to try and have less on urban tiles.
Oh, I was thinking about that, but it's not really true. The south one is a plain. The north one has urban, yeah. What urban does again?
Oh, the reason you'll see when I show you the redesign though for middle, you'll see why he was concerned, because the middle is like a Northern Europe kind of area where it's a lot of urban and plains, and most of them when I initially designed it were on urban. So he was like, just don't put them all in urban because it's very hard to capture them.
So yeah, you already get a buff for defending an urban.
But that's cool. For free games, already all this knowledge is being used.
Yeah.
That's why I'm gonna really try hard to next week have college and see mobs fight.
Also, I tried the planes. You can pick between fighters and heavy fighters, right? And the heavy fighters are so shit. They cost like the double the production cost, but they trade like 3 heavy fighters for 1 fighter. Like they're super-ish bad.
I don't think I've ever used them in a normal game. Did it even get used by people in a normal game? Like in defensive, I guess.
You would stay
right?
you need range, then but
yeah.
But I never really seen.
We
many
definitely need
fighters.
to do something with that.
Yeah, you don't need range here because there's no heavy stuff. So.
I think the north should be winter. That's a very different thing, Chad. That's like weather stuff. Weather isn't the same as territory. Okay.
We sent 2 more. I sent you another image for desert and another image for the our initial redesign for middle as well. If you want to look at those.
Yeah, we've been keeping away from weather because it's the randomness.
And now the north. This one is more plainy now. This one is much more hilly now. I always like to think what players will do, and I already see. I always want to think, what does a player do, like a Nath, and he's gonna tank here, tanks here. But that's
that's what we want.
Then, yeah.
Basically, imagine the idea behind this. Like the theme of middle is it's the Battle of France. It's the Ardennes in the middle. It's all low country up top with urban and plains.
Oh wait, you take the city completely away here. I see. Yeah.
Yeah,
urban,
that's another feedback.
Urban. Yeah.
No, but I don't think people actually like the 5 tiles of city. It's just slow, right? It's just low stats. It's not fun to fight in. So we're gonna spread it out now.
Yeah.
I think some of the provinces as well I've been splitting up. So because before we had kind of like these weird these lane type things, because that was how the map was designed. I've split them a bit more, so it's going to be a bit better to manage. So those urban tiles will probably be 1 or 2 provinces each, I would say.
Yeah, sounds amazing.
Yep, so that, and then there's also desert.
I should
thing
probably
I don't-
wait to make a date with the 2 players before that is done, right? So we have data on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's up to
They
you.
shouldn't play on this
Yeah.
map here then. They should bring us data
As I
on
say,
the
I,
map.
it depends what you want to do because I've basically got like 95% of the middle done. I just
No,
need
then
to obviously
I wait
do
till
the
you tell
south
me
and the north.
you're about done, and then I make a date with them. So we have data on the new map. That makes total sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right, happy days.
I would get, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lou. I would guess if we were just gonna do the north and the desert and then stop, you could probably be done by the next weekend.
Yeah.
Another week,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's reasonable, I think.
Yeah, I'm on nights next 2 nights. Yeah, cool. That
Because the
works,
desert's
that
going to be
works, definitely.
simple. It's not complicated.
Yeah, there's not much change in the desert.
If you want to take a look at that, Tommy, look at the desert.
The main issue is, I say, the main thing that takes time is splitting up the provinces because you have to
Yes.
do a
Yeah.
whole bunch of extra stuff. But yeah,
Yeah, Roblox, jump
Nah,
in. You
I
have anything
reckon.
you want to say?
They're taking
I'm
the
just
mountains.
looking at
away.
this and I'm thinking too much supply hubs. You have to make a supply hub that's something, in my opinion, that has to be like special. Like there's 6 supply hubs on this map in this smallest area, which in
That's
my
what we-
opinion is too much.
Like, that's on purpose. Like, this is supposed to... So this area is supposed to be super high supply. It's about fast tank warfare through plains and cities. That's what it's about. And then
Maybe, but I don't think it's too much. Like 4 or something would be great, but 6 is too much in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll
Oh,
have to see.
the US means supply hub.
Like the S, this.
Although the small S is a supply hub
Oh,
on
that's
a, on
then
a
I agree
urban
with
wall.
Roblox. 5 supply hubs that close. That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot.
Well, I don't know. So, okay, then we can discuss this. Do you want all the North to be fighting over a single supply hub? And I know 5 is a lot. It could be 3, but we do want to have a bit more dynamic, like it to be a bit more
it
dynamic.
shouldn't
in
be
that area.
higher than 3. If you in the Hoi 4 terms, 5 is the supply is gonna overstack each other. The radius
Okay.
of the supply is gonna go crazy. Yeah, because
So,
I'm
Lou-
looking at it right now, like 1, 2, 3. That's crazy. Yeah, you could do like if you look at stream, like 1, 2. Dude, 3 almost seems a lot.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
this area.
Here,
So like
actually,
that province
I
in the
wanna-
top right.
Because look at the stream real quick, Danger. If this is supply hub, it has this range.
Yep. Yeah.
So if you have 3 here, they just like this one. You can build hotels here.
Right, but you have to think too. I know you know this. I'm just trying to say it out loud. Like, when you lose a supply hub, though, the trick is not when you have a lot of supply. It's when you don't have the
Yeah,
supply
true.
hub. You can't even play in the area anymore, right?
Very, very true. I just learned that in the last game.
Yeah. So I want to. This is one last picture I'll post. Look how cluttered the supply hubs are in Northern Europe in the game in Vanilla Hoi 4. There's a lot of them, and I think we should aim to mirror something similar to that for this area.
I agree. I think
that-
you're completely right. I love your argument that this kind of building of supply up makes much more engagement.
It's fast, right? It's not about, oh, I have fucking
Yeah.
attrition. This area is about, like, you're encircling fast, you're moving around cities, you're trying to get, like, oh, rip
Just like
people
me.
bald. Yeah, same. Bald club, let's go. Yeah, so that's my idea.
I actually fully agree with that. That is, yeah, because if you make a like here, a player takes this, then the defending player can't defend anymore because there's supply up. And building supply ups is tedious, annoying, and boring to watch. I fully agree with that. Yeah, more supply ups is a great idea.
But to your
100%.
point, Roblox, maybe 5 is too much. Let's
Yeah,
see.
5 is a bit much. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like maybe 1 every 3 tiles. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Something
That's
like
yeah. I fully agree with that.
that. Okay. Anything else on? We have one other picture we can show if you want to show Lou like the wider map, because I don't know how what you thought about it, Lou, building like the back parts of the map,
What?
the Russia area.
The Russia area.
The Russia area. Is this
You'll
where everybody
see,
loses
you'll see.
200,000 men?
Basically, yeah, that's the idea actually.
Is that the back part of the map?
Like
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah.
wider rework in the back, which we'll do eventually, but not. Oh, you like it that much?
me-
Okay, we'll show it.
Let me. I mean, we could show it. Might as well.
Yeah.
I like
This
it.
is
just
very
'cause, you know,
future.
pretty picture. I like it. But yeah, we'll see what get some feedback on it. Innit?
This would probably be the last thing.
Cosma, that's too hard for developer to do.
This
Oh, I think
rework.
we just posted at the same time.
Oh, we did. Okay.
So what am I looking here?
This is the far side of the map now. Eventually, we'll do this.
Yeah.
This is the last thing we're gonna update. We're gonna make it like Russia, Ukraine, with the 2 rivers, and then Stalingrad in between them.
Oh yes.
Where do I see
remember now.
Stalingrad? Sorry, the free urban. The
There's-
free urban.
3 urbans between the rivers.
I like
So there's
that.
2 rivers.
I like that. I like
Um,
it. Just pretty much this just means harder more complex, and I like that. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it like mimics the Don and the Volga, basically, kind of thing.
Yeah, and you have experience with
is-
that from your Stalingrad mod, yeah.
Exactly. And I think the important thing is too is that like, okay, we're gonna get to the point in the game, right? Okay, it's gonna be very hard. Maybe the players struggle to actually kill players at the end, like the full annihilation. But that's why we have the point system. That like, it's actually on the person on defense now to come back and try and encircle. If someone's pushed into the Dawn, you have to push back, or you just lose the game on points eventually. Which I think will make it balanced.
Everything you guys are saying makes perfect sense and sounds amazing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, especially the main idea I love here is this having more supply hubs, because it engages. Because when you play High 4, if you lose a supply hub, you're fucked for ages. You have to rebuild one, so you have to. Yeah, it takes forever. It takes a lot of speed out. That's a great idea. Yeah.
I think it just gives you more options of places to go, at least from what I've seen. Like obviously, like when I was watching that game, it felt obviously like they were going in different places, but it just felt like they were somewhat tunneled in with what kind of in terms of actually using the map.
Yeah, and that makes it. If you look at Marcel vs. Nave again, they always fought in this area, and if you do what you guys are proposing with better supply hubs, then it engages the better player should win. The more APM player, the better micro player. And even though you're pushing me here, I'm gonna do stuff to you here, and I'm allowed to do that because now I have the supply hub a bit more in front instead of behind. Yeah.
Yep.
But that's this idea. If we go with this, then I had this idea of focuses that give supply hubs. So that's just not usable anymore. You could do focuses that like every railway gets +1 or something. That could be something.
Well, you could do focuses for like to help with winter attrition if you're gonna fight in the north, or with heat attrition in the south, right? You could do small stuff like.
Can you guys do that? That winter is only in the north?
You can also like. I'm pretty sure you can. Yeah. You can change like the temperatures and stuff, but I'm not sure. You can make it not as random.
Okay.
That's the main. That's the main issue, because when it's based on strategic regions, the weather, and then you have the east and west are different regions, and you don't want one side having winter and one side not, because that would be
exactly. We have to make it so that like across the entire middle lane, a weather event is happening across the entire north lane. Yeah, we'll have to see if it's like states or province based.
If I did just temperature, you can do like set like, oh, this state has this region has like 10% rain, this region has 10% snow. If I just set that to 0 and then just mess with the temperatures instead, you can set like, 10 degrees winter, 20 degrees summer, stuff like that. If I just did that in the strategic region, that might work. That would probably work.
Yeah, we have 4 types of temperature. There's extreme cold, very hot, extreme hot, and then there's for state weather we have rain, storm, snow, blizzards. Like we can do all this. I'm sure we could find a way to like set it up right that it happens in the right states only at the right time.
Yeah.
But that's far away. That's like a nice to have thing. That's not mandatory right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Other than that, like Tommy, do you have things you want to talk about? Like I kind of went through my list of things and everything seems fine
as
so
I'm
far,
as I'm a fucking retard, doesn't know anything about development. I can only think about the Hoi 4 aspect of things. And one thing I felt very deeply between Nave and Marcel is the uncomplexity of a focus tree, which makes total sense. It's an early version, etc. But one thing I would like to see, and I would even like to help design, maybe during this week, if you guys have time in the evening or something, if we don't need everyone there for that, is to talk about the focus tree on what we could actually do. I felt the industry tree is perfect, the way it looks, maybe not the stats, I don't know, but you don't need to touch that. But once again, right, they choose their tanks, then they choose their fighters, and then that's it. And I would like to discuss, brainstorm, and find solutions to make focus more attractive. Well, that brings us very quickly to the heroes, the nations. And I once again feel like if we implement these heroes, then there's no reason to do something before that. Why design something right now if we want to do the nations anyway? And that brings us then in the next step to the point that we could probably start looking at these nation ideas already.
Yeah. So currently what I'm doing right now is pulling all of the different things we want to put in nations, right? All of the modifiers that should apply to different nations. So I'm making a list right now just of all our options. So example, entrenchment speed bonus or max entrenchment. I'm just trying to get a list so we can look at everything like a map.
Yeah. And we have to decide Sorry,
there's some big decisions to make. No, it's fine. Go ahead, Lou.
Just because there are some concerns I think people have that if we make countries, it will be, in terms of balance. It's a balance. It's a completely, what's the word? Completely balanced map. It's one-to-one mirrored. if we start introducing country variables and things like that, we have to kind of think about how different we're going to make these countries. You know what I mean? So are we just going to do, he just gets an idea that gives him 10% infantry damage, or are we going to go like, oh yeah, he's got a whole new focus tree now? So that's just
something I talked about a while ago, and that is that the goal of this mod, right, is to be, for the first time ever, the most balanced approach to Hoi forever. And that's why these nations can't be too deep. For example, in the Speed 5 mod, where the nation decides everything. A nation should be a nice... it should give you a cool flag, it should give you the generals, and it should give you a nice flavor. Obviously bonus, but nothing too crazy. We have to be very delicate with these bonuses.
Perhaps it could be, like, literally an idea, and then maybe like a handful, not even like between 3 and 5 focuses that you can do, unique focuses, something like that.
That's also a good start, because it's easier for you guys to do. Like, hey, here's the nations, they don't have fucking 10 focuses, they have 4 focuses. And from there we can go into more versions. I love, what do you think about that?
And you just get the...
That's a good start.
No, go ahead, Flu, let you finish your idea.
Sorry, I was just gonna. You can get given, tank and plane designs and ship designs and stuff that are kind of historical in nature as well, possibly.
Yeah, so I think me and you, Tommy, actually have like pretty opposing views on this. For me, what I think of when I think of the nations is the idea of, you're totally right. Like it's hard to balance, but finding that balance is what is like it's. Right? If I think of StarCraft, what makes that game amazing is that those 3 factions are different, right? Like they fundamentally play differently, within reason, right? Yes. Like we're not going crazy. But I don't want to make them all feel exactly the same, and it's just a flag, because that to me is like, well, that's also boring too.
No, not just a flag. Obviously, no. I just mean as a
little. No, I'm being hyperbolic a bit, but yes. For me, if I think of like what we could do as a good starting for the nations is research bonuses that are like flavored to what they should be for each to have a good playstyle if they follow their research bonus, right? They don't have to take them, but example, Germany has tank research bonuses. I
like that because it's not an overcommitment. In Speed 5, if you take Germany, here's your tank. Play with the tank now.
Exactly.
But a research bonus means a bit more freedom back to the player.
We give doctrine bonuses for a specific one as well. We give research bonuses. And within that, I would like to play with specific vehicle designs as well, but that's maybe a stretch goal. Within the already, with the mechanics that are already there in vanilla, we just kind of push you in a direction. So
yes. Hello?
With research bonuses, stuff like that. That's what I'm thinking of right now. I'm trying to...
Yeah, makes total sense. I like this idea Lou had of keeping it to maybe 5 focuses, because it means you have a first skeleton, you can start from there, people can play the mod, people can...
We can literally build it up if you want to add more as well.
Do we want... This is a very, very big question. So, you play the game, you make your army right here, and then we have all these legendary generals that you can choose from. Do we want to keep it like this, or should these generals be in the nation picks? I think we should... That's a big question. I think they should not.
I think each nation should get a roster of generals that are good at specific things.
Because here's something I was thinking. I like that everybody has the same generals at the beginning for balance, but the nation pick improves the general. Hoi 4 allows you to do things like, for example, I pick Russia, and then there's a focus. Gregory Zhukov gets 500 XP, goes to level 3. Something like that. That could be something.
Yeah.
It could be.
Because I don't like taking away...
Isn't that broken, though? Because, like, the moment you have a general with, let's say, 3 attack, you have to pick him, right?
But if you pick Russia, you probably should play Russian generals, right?
Okay, no, how about this? No, so I'll give you my idea then. Instead of it being, like, he gets improved, you choose a nation, and then nation comes with a roster of generals, just like in vanilla. But we make sure that you just make sure, though, that we look through each general, and that we give them traits that are balanced across the map. Like, each nation has it, like, obviously an infantry guy, a tank guy, another version of whatever. and we can just do little traits across, like, oh, this nation has better, like has a mountaineer or something. I'm trying to think out loud here.
We could
but essentially, like, Germany has Rommel, right? But no one has a Rommel on theirs. But they have similar things that are just similar, but like maybe Rommel's in his own way unique because he has Desert Fox, as example.
You could have like similar stats, so I don't know. You could have like, you know, Rommel and Patton being rough equivalents.
Exactly.
You know, because both.
But one's Desert Fox and one's not.
Yeah, and one's, you know, got another stat or you know, stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, that's a question for you guys if you want more trouble in development, because once you do balance of generals spawn from development, that's a bit harder to develop. Whereas if you just have everybody suggest generals and they just get a little bonus, that's easier. It's
definitely at a start. It's easier to leave it like this, right?
Yeah.
I like the idea of okay, you just get 4 or 5 generals that are to do with your country, and then some countries get a focus to improve the general, some don't. Please yourself. I quite like that idea.
At least each country would have to be balanced at least, right? So if they don't have that focus to improve somebody, they have to have something.
Balance is a very big part here, because as always, I always imagine it like this. I was in Sweden, right? And all these 8 players, all day long, they talk about meta. Every day, what's the best. And I always imagine them doing this with this mod. And they will very quickly be, you get this general, there's the best. And in a good balance, though, it's very interesting to see these different picks,
One of the things that'll help us with the nations that I think is going to be really good is we're going to have the bans, though, too. Is that if USA is 100% first pick every time, and Japan is the other pick we always get, they can just be banned in the national focus.
Where I think, though, I like your idea with the bans, but bans is hard when you only have 4 nations yet. That should be something when you have like more nations, right? If there's only 4,
5 and you can ban 2, and then there's always 3 left. You don't think that's enough?
I don't know.
It's kind of like rock, paper, scissors, right?
I guess especially when this mod isn't that mega much about your nation pick decides everything, then I guess it has to be tested. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. One mega interesting question is the nation pick something you can get from start, or is it after you chose your tanks and air?
If we're doing bans, it's the start.
Yeah, it has to be start.
Yeah, I always had it in my head.
I like start too.
Yes, but then how? If you look at the stream, so right here you have nations, France, Russia, blah blah blah. What do we do with these then? What do we with the military and the air branch? What do we do with them?
Thought we wanted to make nations like a small thing though, so we can keep them, or just expand them, I guess.
We can go in 2 different directions, right?
Sorry, go on, mate. Go on.
I was just gonna say, like, okay, there's 2 different directions. It seems like there's you choose a nation, and then the nation choice, it just goes into its own little nations tree by itself, and that's like its own little self-contained thing. And all of this looks the same.
Which I just want to I didn't understand.
Go ahead.
Sorry. But just when, like in Speed 5, you choose your nation and then that's it. That makes a step away from the balance. The cool thing about the military and air tree is everybody has the same.
Right.
So the way I was thinking of it would be that just all the focuses would move down. You would have, you know, your 5 countries at the top at a focus. You would select that focus, and then boom, that would then just trigger the addition, so to speak, of the handful of focuses that you get for that country. Then that would I'm not sure how the bans would happen. It would probably have to be at a timer similar to the war start.
Oh, it's also important, this is very important point. If there's bans, then basic stuff like military and air stuff that everyone gets can never be inside the nations. You know what I mean? Because that's really fucking...
Okay, this is a whole other question too, and we're opening a can of worms a bit, but I don't think the nations and the industry should be separated.
But now you're fucking with the industry tree that's already like...
No. Listen to me. So the problem is, Tommy, is that you just have to imagine that aggressive industry is choosing Japan. You just have to imagine, because we're imagining I want to pick Japan and then have build-up industry. What's the point of picking Japan then?
So you would nest a trigger in each tree that would say, if you pick Japan, you cannot pick build-up industry anymore. You can only pick
the idea would be like, you've picked Japan. Japan is an aggressive country that you've decided at the nation level you're committing to aggression.
Yeah. And that I have to say, that I don't like. That's where we take too much a step away from freedom, I feel like. Like when you look at StarCraft, you would think Zergs are aggressive with a Zerg rush, but a Zerg player can also do expansion first and be a bit more mid-game, late-game. I feel like that's too committable.
It could be more than aggression. Like it doesn't have to be aggression. It could be aggression and balanced, but
And don't forget when you do that. For example, Marcel kind of showed that flexible industry is super meta. Then they all just pick nations that are flexible, you know?
No, you can't. Exactly. No, then it can be banned or it's picked already.
Ah, okay. Oh, you would force a player to play aggressive for once with that. That's interesting.
So if you choose Japan, Japan is the aggressive country. You're just making the aggression choice like one tier higher with a flag on it. Like it doesn't matter that you've made your choice. I want to play aggression. I'm playing Japan. That's my choice, right? It doesn't have to be separate. I don't have to go Japan and then I want to do build-up. Well, if you wanted to do build-up, you could have picked a different country. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have the options. They're all still there. They're just at a different tier.
Yeah, that's a huge question.
Does that make sense?
Doing that. That's hard, man.
That's the problem is we have to figure this out before we do nations. That's why.
Because here's what I was thinking. Just doesn't have to be like this. If you look at the stream, you have this. You have a fleshed out military tree, a fleshed out air tree, and right here, you have these nations. It starts with one, you choose America, and then it turns into 5 things. That's what I was thinking. Because then you don't touch all this stuff, and they can just do what they want with it.
Then they can pick... The problem with that, right, Tommy, is they can pick the nation so late, so you can't predict your enemy. Right? They can just do... I mean, they can do the industry, their army, like the game has probably
true.
been 2 years before they even go into the nation.
The nations should be picked before the war starts.
I hate when Speed 5 does that you could be like half an hour into the game and there's no nation yet. It's just like allies, and I'm like...
But what we could do, we could just put it behind, so you have to pick your nation, and then you could go into whatever tree you want. Whether you use your nation tree, industry, military, whatever. But just so you picked your nation, kind of. You're forced to choose in the beginning.
Yeah, I think the first pick should be nation, yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
But then you have the freedom to go into.
But I just try to visually imagine, like in front of me, what will this window look like then? That's what I'm trying to imagine.
Well, so we put the nations at the top, right, and then put everything down.
Let me just move everything down a bit.
But you guys mean, for example, if you look at this industry is connected up here to the nation pick.
Yeah. But only to the first, right? The first choice. You pick the nation, then you can gain access to all of the trees. Every tree.
Like look at stream. Look on stream. I like this idea. So look at this. So they start nation. But then it gets very. I have many questions. You pick your nation, and then from, you guys can develop that. Then all other nations go away. You can't see them anymore, right? That's a thing.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You can reset the national focuses. Yeah. Well, actually, I'll let Roblox. You're the expert, so.
I've never done that before. I know it's not too hard. I can.
Okay. So let's say this player picks America. All of this goes away, and then America turns into here's my industry tree, my military tree, my air tree, and my nation specific. Like that's what you're imagining, or?
I mean, if we're doing it this way, can't you just, if you pick your nation, you change tag, and then you gain another focus tree? And it's
you don't need to change
the one you have.
Just do load focus tree. That's an issue. So
can't we just have different focus trees technically?
Yeah, you can load separate focus trees.
Yeah, so you pick your nation and then you gain a new focus.
The idea that I had was that you just have it all in the same tree, and you just have
but that might
the parts for each nation.
The thing Tommy's saying is that it might look a bit weird, you know?
You just not really. You could, instead of using like prerequisites, just do an available check.
Also, ultra important. Switching tags fucks up multiplayer. That can leg shit out.
But they said we didn't need to switch tags. They said we could have different focus trees, right?
Yeah, you can have different focus trees as well.
Yeah. So fuck the tags.
So you could just load like a copy of the focus tree. This is what I had in my mind. Load a new copy of the focus tree that is identical, except it's got a new little bit in the bottom with, your 5 nation focuses.
Yeah.
But the thing with that loading a new tree, you have to do it very early because it resets all your progress. So you have to have it like the first focus.
Yeah, like the ban.
That's the issue.
0 days, right? It would be.
You can have.
There's no.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. You have to make it the first focus. So that means the first focus you do is picking your nation, which I don't know if that's what you do.
Or very early on.
That's good because.
You can't account for what the player will pick. You'd have to account for every single combination.
Like the first thing that happens in the game is one guy bans, the other guy picks, and now the game starts basically.
About
That's
the
it.
bans, I'm gonna just say now they have to be through decisions. If you do through focus, it's gonna be extremely buggy. So that's just,
Okay, that's fine if you want to do it that way. Sure.
You could just have a
banning is weird.
Yeah, I think the banning is like more future stuff.
Because the problem is if there's like, imagine if it's rock paper scissors, right? And you play rock and then you ban the paper, and they're forced to play scissor.
No, you have
you know.
It won't be that simple though.
You would.
I would just urge in the
You
beginning
ban
to just let them have the freedom. If it's just 5 nations, let them just.
We can start with no
figure it
bans,
out.
but the part of the bans is that it helps you balance the game because it lets you ban OP shit, right?
Yeah, sure. If you know you're going up to get Dankus, you ban his Russia tanks, obviously.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Ideally, what you want is to have 6 nations, or like something that like you have 2 rock, 2 paper, 2 scissors, so you can't just ban.
No, that's a good point.
So like we have the 5 nations we want, maybe we can add like 1 more.
But I feel like banning is like, it's not needed in the beginning, before it's even been played.
Yeah, I'm always a friend of decomplexation. I feel like in the Hoi 4 League, when they play best of 3, let them just do it, and then in the Hoi 5 International, best of 5s, then we can have like a ban or something.
Yeah, we can add it later. It's the bans doesn't have to happen right away.
But let me
as
get
long
to
as
this-
the players can't pick the same nation. That's all.
I still want to get this visual in my mind. What will the focus tree look like? So they pick a nation. So then did we talk about this? The other ones all go away, right? Was that possible?
Well, no, I think what we said was that you load another tree, right?
Yeah, that's easy. You just have to make it so it's the first focus tree. The first focus you pick, and then it just loads a new focus tree that only has that. It's not too
Yeah, so it looks like the one
So
you
in the
have now.
beginning, they only see nation picks and nothing else, and then they spawn in that other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, sounds like
sounds
a lot
right.
of development that every nation has all this stuff. Okay, so I pick America, and then what do I see? Do I see 4 different paths, aka air, military, industry, and nation? Or is everything intertwined? Which is not good, because I think it's anti-balance. Again, we want a very
I
balanced
think it's
approach.
separate.
I think we could
like you
start by
wanted the
everything
freedom.
being separate, and then we could work towards mixing them later on if that's what we want. But separate's the easiest for the first.
The problem
I
is
think
separate is
separate is
right.
good because it adds the freedom to do whatever you
the
want.
problem is though, Marcel picks America and now stays the whole game in industry and army. Never picks his nation. You know what I mean?
But
No.
it depends what the
To get
focuses
industry,
are.
he has to have already picked the US by the time he wants to pick industry.
Once again, Marcel starts the game. He sees USA right here, clicks it, boom.
Yeah,
Now he gets
yep.
this tree here, and just stays in it.
No. He gets access to the whole thing now. Now he has all of this stuff available.
Yeah.
The nation pick is above all of this thing.
Yeah, but listen to this. He took America,
Okay.
and now he takes all of this, then he takes this, and then he takes this. The game is over. He never even touched the America tree. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it depends on what the focuses are.
Yeah, we'd have to make the focuses like appealing.
Oh, okay. I'll jump in quick. If we don't have to do it my way at all, but my idea was that it wasn't exactly all mirrored 100%. Like you wouldn't all access the exact same tree underneath your nation. There would be some differences. They wouldn't be crazy things, but it would be like research bonuses in your like if you take this focus, you get a research bonus, stuff like that. Or like you unlock a political advisor.
This approach can be very dangerous, but also very interesting. But it's a big step towards Speed 5. Whereas
I don't think it was necessarily bad the way they did it.
Yeah, but
It just has to be balanced better.
But you're putting so much work on yourself. At the moment, the mod is fully mirrored. Everything is the same, which is very balanced and easy to balance. And the deeper you go into the nations, the deeper you go there, the crazier shit gets. That's why I like this approach of a nation being, especially in the first versions, a nice little spice. Another approach, here's another idea. A guy picks America. Boom, I pick America. I get these 3 trees, which will get improved. And now they have little tweaks in them. For example, right? I put America,
heroes.
I go to military. Now my whatever I choose here is a bit different. My mediums is Shermans and I get 800, whereas Germany gets something else, blah 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 blah. There's little tweaks in them.
That's the idea is that we were using this tree was to build our testing, right, to see what works. And then from this, each nation gets different things that we've already built in here. Like, yeah, America gets the medium tanks, Germany gets the heavy tank one, Japan gets the light tank focus.
I massively disagree with that. Because
that's too like down the lane.
Too much. You push. Yeah. It's too much away from freedom. It's like once again StarCraft. You are only allowed to do roaches the rest of the game. You know you can take so much freedom away with that. You should. I mean, my ideas. Last thing, real quick. You choose a nation, but you still have a lot of freedom. But your freedom is a little bit tweaked, a little bit. There's something different. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Nothing too massive in the face.
Yep.
You know.
No, I agree.
Because giving a guy only, like that's what Speed 5 is, the Germans got that one heavy tank, and that's it, you have that heavy tank. There's nothing else you're gonna do.
And then later you could add the heroes, right? To all the nations. Right?
But you guys see how complex this shit is, right? This nation thing is
oh no,
cool.
dude, I've been spending 2 weeks looking at this stuff. It's very complicated.
I'm just gonna pee really, really quick, just to a little mini cooldown, 1 minute. Just a quick little pee. Quick little pee, guys. Wait.
Jet heroes? Hello?
Hello?
Is Tommy muted?
What's up?
Is he back?
Toilet.
No.
He went for a pee-pee.
Hello, chat.
Oh,
Stop acting weird.
This is my stream now.
Oh my god. He's unleashed.
Benz.
That everyone, when Tommy comes back, say Mike muted. Oh shit.
Where's my fucking headset? Yeah, as I was on the toilet thinking about this nation shit, the nation shit it's hard to do. It's hard to do. We should totally do it. I'm totally for it. But that makes the complexity of this project really high. So wait, my mic is not muted. No. I mean, the question in the room is, how would you build the focus tree of nations? And once again, I think I'm against the separation, because they will just never take it, right? They will just do other stuff. Which,
what do you mean?
Which only... What do I mean? Well, like I explained, again, look on stream. I am. I pick America. Now, I have this, and right here, my America tree. Right? But now, I know these kids. They will just stay in these trees. They never even click on the America one. It has to be really fucking good. But if it's really fucking good, it's unbalanced shit. You know? I know these kids.
The problem I see with Hoi 4 in general is that it's so hard to counter certain things, right? Like if someone makes tanks, what's the best way to defeat tanks? It's not anti-tank, which you might think.
Yeah, it's other tanks.
I feel like there needs to be some way to counter some things, you know? There needs to be ways to... So they can't just do one-trick ponies.
I like the idea of taking this layout that we have and then just tweaking it slightly for each country. I think that's quite a good idea. Yeah, Perhaps we could also work in, instead of having just like, oh, here's the America tree down here, there's like 5 focuses, you could work those focuses into the tree somewhere as well, so they have to take it.
I don't think they're separate, Yeah,
that's I feel like there's not a solution even, Meaning, let's make a little example. I click America, and now I have this tree, which every other player has too. We like balance. Once again, I'm very sorry, Danger, but I don't think they should be stuck to one like Japan only aggressive. I think that's too freedom taking, you know. But
I'm open to them having multiple options, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't think they should necessarily. I agree. Like it sucks if you pick a nation and it's like super obvious what you're gonna do,
But
right? It's like
let's
I
make,
have one thing.
A cool example would be let's do a Japan example. You pick Japan, you get this tree,
Yep.
and now there's something interesting. For example, aggressive industry 3 is Japanese industry 1 or something, and it's something special, like it's 10 mils, not 5s or something like that.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay.
Yeah, here I'll post some shitty example I'm trying to make right now. And I'll post it in our chat. But like the idea is like yes, you have within each, like you go into industry and you have your options that are tied to the nation, and the nations can still have the same things, all the same things we've already put in our tree, right? It's this, you know, you're gonna get a little tank bling, you're gonna get you want mountaineers, it's in the branch, but there is, let's say at a minimum 2 options per branch of the military, where like Japan has 2 different types of focus trees it can go down, so like there is options within the nation for what it can do. And the Americans can go for like heavy production, maybe let's say for like they want to do a tank production army, or there's another option there that is something else, and it's bonuses like you're talking about, like the bonuses tied to the nation, but for them. Go ahead.
Fully agree. Just 2 things. They have to be delicate, not too crazy, because otherwise it becomes better. And a second idea I just had, just a brainstorm. These bonuses shouldn't be like the first ones. It should be like the 3rd or 4th. Because that means the early game is very balanced and equal, and then slowly it turns into, here's my Japan, here's my USA.
You would say that again?
So the first part was they have to be delicate, not too crazy.
Yeah.
And the second part is, for example, I picked USA. And the specific thing USA does for me is like the 3rd or 4th one, not maybe the one second. That way you keep the early game more equal and balanced, and then people turn into the butterfly of the nation.
Basically, as you hit the bottom of your trees, you get like big things that are like, oh shit, this is like a really cool one. It's like
cool because we saw that in Speed 5. Like USA had a very good ultimate, we want to call it ultimate, their big one. Yeah. But before they reached ultimate, there's a very equal early game where everybody has the same chances.
Yeah, like the USA, their Navy ultimate could be like they get floating harbors, so they can invade anywhere.
Yeah, or something like that. And also puts pressure on people. Oh, my enemy is picking USA. I have like 30 minutes to win this game, which makes sense. It gives a fair early game.
Okay.
So yeah, we have a solution here. That sounds great. Yeah. Makes it more complex because now we have to really think what nations should have, right?
That's what I've been doing. Yeah, I'm trying to make a big list. Yeah.
But I think if everyone here agrees, that is a great solution. I think that sounds great. But that means, let me just make this clear.
Yeah,
I pick my nation, and then I have 3 trees: industry, military, air, and then eventually one day Navy. Yeah. Correct, right?
And we can talk about, there's agencies too, like there's definitely flavor we can add. Nafe said right now that agency is very, like, it's very simple, right? Everyone does the same thing, they go for the combat bonuses. We could eventually add more stuff that, you know, each nation can go into the agency and get bonuses for specific things. You know, one nation's better at partisan, one is better at decryption, one's better at encryption. We can do those things. And we keep them very delicate, like you're saying, just little bonuses, right? Like a research bonus or a mission time bonus, not like 1,000% anything crazy.
Yeah, it sounds perfect. Yeah, I really feel like we came to a great final point here. Yeah, that sounds great. Sounds amazing. That means though, because I wanted to really talk about how to improve the military and air tree, but that's kind of useless. You could straight up just talk about nations then.
Well, I took a note when you did the video and you talked about it, the air tree, where it's more of a pyramid, where it's like you select fighter 1, and then you can select fighters again if you want, but you can also then go into CAS. Mm-hmm. I remember you were talking about this on stream last time.
Yeah.
It was more of a pyramid structure you came up with, right? It's like you could go all the way down the left side and get all the fighters if you wanted, and then like, oh, you know, maybe in the 3rd tier now there's a heavy bomber you can get into if you'd like. Mm-hmm. I remember, like, I've tried to draw it up, but I didn't save it.
How do you make that attractive though? Because I feel like a meta player would just go fighters and CAS. Why would they ever make heavy fighters? Why would they ever go something else?
Well, then we get back to the nations. Is that certain nations can have bonuses in certain areas?
Yeah,
right?
It's like once again delicate, careful. Oh, I picked USA because I want this industry bonus, but oh, now I get tech bombers and not CAS or something like that.
Yeah, you go for strat bombers or something. Or Germany can get V1 rockets if they go into air.
Yeah.
I don't want to see fighters in every game. You know?
I agree.
It's a very hard question, Bjorn, though. When you look at every multiplayer game, right, it's all the same shit, man. Green air and then gas.
Yeah, but there has to be something unique to heavy fighters, right? In OE4? Is there no bonus to them whatsoever?
Range. But on this map, there's nothing with range. You don't bomb Germany from the UK.
Well,
when the Navy comes in, we will.
Look, if you look right now, right, it's very hard to have air in the north. And I think you kind of need heavy fighters.
And to be honest, we already changed the medium airframes ranges. We can play with we can make all of the light airframes smaller. We can do that.
I just think
we can play with those things.
You know, I want to make them viable, you know, somehow.
I agree.
Like just make the range of like the light fighters maybe 1 air zone, and for the mediums like 2 air zones. I don't know.
And
that was my original goal.
The scout planes, they fucking suck, by the way. Like what?
That's right. But you know what I think about like Stockholm stuff. When something sucks, you give it to the players early, so they have to like the first air focus gives you 20 scout planes, and they can choose to use it or not. But the guy who uses it
doesn't do anything.
Does it not show?
No, I tried, and it doesn't really show anything.
Well, then just fuck him. Well, then.
I had like 400, and then I actually saw things.
Oh.
Well, then fuck them, I guess.
Well, those are things we can balance too, right? Like, those are things we'll have to tune. When we find things like in vanilla, this is broken, we can just be like, okay, what stat does it need to work properly?
Yeah.
Or just give them 400 and they actually show them things.
The cool thing is, though, that we reached this point now of where we want to go, and now we could kind of really start. That's something I want to be involved in and not be just a lazy fuck, where we have these streams where we meet or whoever has time, and we start really designing these focus trees where we really talk about that, and that's where we can talk about this question in detail. And I would really guess that the goal is now to design, I guess, 5 nations, 4 nations, 5 nations.
Yeah, the roster I came up with was 5 to start, but you know, we can do 6 if we want. We can do whatever, 4.
The cool thing is if you have the basic skeleton of industry, military, and air done for everyone, then from there it's easy to do little tweaks.
Yeah,
the air and the military trees are a bit simple, right?
The only thing to consider when we're making the nations is make sure that if we're gonna pick some, like whatever nation we choose to make, let's make sure we make ones that have like distinct things about them that are easy to put in, and like I don't want to just put like Hungary, like they didn't fucking do anything in the war. There's nothing for us to play off of.
Obviously, yeah, majors, obviously.
Yeah, the majors, exactly.
You would think USA, UK, Soviets, Germany, Japan, China?
China is probably the 6th one I was thinking of, yeah.
China or France? France kind of...
France I have ideas for too, but China was like, I feel like we have to pay respect. It's like fucking millions and millions of people died there. I don't know.
Good evening, by the way, but Italy is also
Nate.
a great choice.
Hello.
I thought the meeting was supposed to be at 10 CET, but I suppose you started earlier at 9.
Tommy schedule time.
No, Italy. We got Latondo. What's I about to say? Yeah, and then you have something like, here's the new patch, here's the new Hungary hero, like a new hero in League of Legends. Everybody goes crazy. Yeah.
But like, what do we do? Italy's focus tree is just they suck. That's it.
Well, no. It can be like.
But I think you need to step away from thinking so historically, right? This is a
no. I know. I'm just joking.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But that now opens, right? Designing these focus trees, which is long work. That is exciting, though.
Okay, so the idea with like not having a Hungary, right? It doesn't have to be Hungary. It can be like Axis minor nations, right? So like the coalition of Hungary, Romania.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
That's a good idea.
But
it's basically a group of miners, and you bunch them all together.
Commonwealth
like,
nation. That would
like
be
a common. You can have Commonwealth allies. That's cool. Miners on the Axis side, right? And they can have like united, you know.
But yeah, that's once again really big future stuff, right?
Yes, future, yeah. But it was just an idea. That's a cool idea. I like it.
The 6, I think the 5 or the 6 we wanted, and then maybe later.
Yep.
Okay, well then we know what to do, and I would like to during my streams during the week do this more often, where we come together and design together. Who is the main focus designers of you guys? Like
Roblox.
Roblox. Like
Roblox is the one who builds it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the implementer. You guys tell me what to do.
Okay, but we could like meet during streams and really talk about, for example, we could meet this week, have the Germany stream where we talk about what can Germany look like, blah, 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 you know. That's something we should do. Okay, that's, yeah, we have a great point there. At the Bhutan hero, that okay.
Dave, do you have anything you wanted to say? Like, I know you came.
Well, since I only came now, I have no idea what you came.
Sorry, I disconnected my mic.
Went through, right? So, if there is time for you, for anyone, to give me a like fast briefing, right? That would be great.
What are we talking about?
I got some bullet points. I got bullet points here.
That's good.
Matches are too fast, ending in like 20 minutes, and whoever wins the middle battle, the game's basically over. We know the win condition is not relevant right now with the points. We're gonna fix that. I think infantry spam is too prevalent because the stockpiles are way too big at the beginning. People just spawn a bunch of infantry and just push. The map, we're doing all the rework, so you've seen that already, Nate. You know that. We're gonna try and make more avenues for people to play and fight and push the map and stuff. I think the economy accelerates a bit too quickly, based a little bit on the focuses, and then also on the decision button we have. Everything just goes to 100% efficiency cap, and then everyone just fucking tries to kill each other instantly. And there's some technologies we're probably going to push back to the start of the tree. And that's it.
Okay.
And yeah, the big nations talk, yeah.
And then we were talking about nations, yeah, but that's too complicated to kind of...
And we went through them a bit already when we talked last time.
Yes, yeah, we've talked, yeah. We did talk. Maybe you could talk about the armor stuff, because I did mention before to everybody that the armor. You mentioned kind of like buying or upgrading your armor is not efficient economy-wise, and it hurts. It's too hard to do.
It's not about the armor. It's that the overall vanilla tank designer is just very bland. It's basically for heavies and for mediums, it's stacking the secondary guns, right? So you just want to put on. For heavy tanks, the ideal tank is a and I'm not joking. It's a inter-war heavy tank with stacked the cannons, right? The secondary guns. Cannons.
Yeah.
Because the secondaries, well, in real life they were not very used. They were not used at all in modern tanks, right? But in the Vanilla 4, you just smack 4 heavy cannons, and now the tank is amazing. It doesn't make any sense. It's, in my opinion, quite bland, right? Yeah. And I think if we want to go forward with the tank designer, it should be changed, right? In what way it should be changed, it's difficult to say. One idea that I got is to look at other mods and not necessarily, you could say borrow ideas, right?
Yeah. Well, Nate, aren't you like a dev for like competitive? You want to port some of your stuff over, right?
I'm not a dev. I'm a. I know developers, of course, but it would be, you would have to ask them to, like, import things, and I don't know if that's,
I'm just, I don't know about you guys. I don't know how to work with the designers and stuff. So.
Well, you can look at different mods and just adjust values, I guess.
Yeah, so right now what I'm doing is I'm building an Excel sheet where I pull all the vanilla stats out, and then I'm also taking other unnamed mods and then putting their stats in as well for the same components, and then seeing what they change to make it feel better. That's the idea right now, is to find out what those stats changes are, just for the overarching idea, not for the actual copy of the numbers.
It's not hard to just change like the mod if like tank modules that like need tweaking and certain stats cost or whatever. We can do that quite easily.
Honestly, worst case scenario, the idea would be that you would make a Sherman tank, T-34 tank, Panzer IV tank, Tiger tank, set stats on those tanks.
Yes.
Once the nations come, you would just produce that, right? So you would not do any changing around, no designer, anything of that. You would just say, a T-34 tank is very cheap, right? It has okay-ish stance, it's decent speed, right? And that's what the Soviets would have.
So you think the idea of like removing the designer almost is better?
I think it would simplify things.
We just give the stats we want for the tanks?
I think it would give variety to nations, right? You would see that, you know, the Soviets, okay, they are producing KV-1 or D-34, right? The Germans are producing the heavy tanks, the medium tanks, the Panzer IV. It would give certain historical sense to the game, right?
Yep.
It would, and you could balance overall the nations around.
Well, you just play with the numbers, right?
Yes, you would take away the designer from the players. However, right, you could implement it in a nice way. It's a thing to think about, but yeah.
I mean, look, it also could be done slightly differently, but in the same kind of vein, right? We were already talking about giving stockpiles for the tanks, right? But you give the design, you give the stockpile, and they can change it if they want, but the stockpile they got is with the stats that we've decided it should have. Right? Like we could but the components are shit. It sounds like we have to redesign the components and then use the designer.
Yeah. Then you have to, you know, work around all the designs, because, you know, they will get a stockpile of this tank, but then they will just slap 2 or 4 secondary guns, and you're back to what you started with.
Okay. Lots to look into.
Yeah, other than that, I don't have much to add. We have to work on these focus trees, which I want to do live on stream with Roblox. Every time you see, we can have these as evening things. One thing a YouTube comment said, we got the video out with the 101 map, is that a guy has taken the paratrooper focus, which were veterans, and he turned them into tanks, which gave veteran tanks. That's something interesting.
Yeah, we're gonna fix it probably. So anything that gets spawned as like an elite division, we're just gonna make it uneditable and undeletable. Yeah. Because otherwise they'll delete it and make stockpile out of it.
Or as he said in the comment, that you can just, it's basically an exploit. You go into the template and you just replace all the paratrooper battalions with tank and motorized, and the XP stays the same.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So you can abuse that. It's an exploit.
That's interesting. And then obviously, as I'm the retard here who has no talents, I was thinking about art stuff. AKA, I think I have a picture now. I tried to get an artist, but these people want $5,000, so I was like, fuck that. So I probably will do it like every other mod ever and take a picture of the Google Images. I chose this one. I put that on me and Marconi, we have a secret YouTube channel where we put stuff on to see if it gets claimed. And that picture has not been claimed in a month, so that should be copyright fine. I will design some cool stuff though with like cool letters and stuff. And one cool thing I just wanted to add out of nowhere is that when you choose a nation, that your cities get renamed. That could be a little cool meme.
That's something that I'm 100% wanting to do. The states as well, and the cities.
To feel
and,
that's cool.
Unit names, you name it.
And that's are you a guy, Lou, that wants to do that yourself, or is that okay if me and Roblox really have these sessions, or all of us, you guys all invited, we have these sessions live on stream where we just hang out and we talk about, okay, Germany should have this city names, blah blah, or are you more like you want to do it yourself?
I don't mind, mate. Yeah, I'm happy to chat about that stuff.
Well, that's interesting for you, the viewers. Stream that I want to really do these streams, maybe even like this week, man. I'm open for that, and we start designing these nations a bit. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, mate. When I'm free, I'm always down for a.
Look at this. There was like this crazy viewer, and I kind of ignored him first because I thought he's crazy, and he sent me this document. Look at this shit on stream. He sent me this. Suggestions for nations he sent me. Look at how long this is, 13 pages. And I felt like he's just some muppet, but he's actually pretty good. For example, that he did the leaders, he did what the city should be named. he kind of talks about what certain buffs nations should have historically. And this guy, a shout out to you. What is your name, sir? Your name is Andy PP. This could be really used as a nice little how do you say in English? Using as a, you know what I mean?
He's even got like Commonwealth.
Post the file in our conversation so we can keep it at least for references, right?
Yeah, that's pretty good. So I will
even like ideology stuff. That's really cool.
Get into these designs. Now my question is, do I want the 101 game in this old version, or when we have the nations? Because I feel like I'd rather have the nations first.
No, the nations are gonna be very far away. So the map update is probably the one you wait for if you're gonna wait.
Let's do that. Sure.
Yeah, that'll be like
nations is gonna be weeks, and we're gonna be like probably a month or two away from nations.
Which one we won? Like a big tournament or just another?
No, I have another 101 between college and CMOPs planned, but that's whenever.
Just in this one, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay, then we do that. Okay, and then I will, let's really meet up, and I'm gonna tell you in the chat when I have like today on the night stream we can talk about Germany design or something. Yeah. Okay. Anything else you guys want to talk about? One thing, here's one little super fucking random suggestion. I was thinking of calling it red and blue and not west and east, because when I was casting the game, it was much easier for me to be red is doing this, blue is doing this. Like from speech itself, you don't really want to use the word west and east in a weird way. You know, that's weird.
Well, it will change when we choose nations, and those will happen at the beginning.
Oh, true. Yeah. Then they become.
They were kind of just placeholders.
True. If you become the nation, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, everyone, just I'm just gonna stream this. I made this in like 2 minutes. Is this kind of what we want to go for the starting tree? So you guys want
it would be something like that, probably, yeah.
I just made this in 2 minutes, but
where? I don't see anything.
He's Discord stream.
Yeah, watch his stream.
Go in the conversation or the call, and you can see his stream.
Of course, they'd be mutual exclusive. I'm just.
I don't. Oh, here.
Like something like this for the beginning of the like this is like the beginning tree, and then you click on one of these and you get a new focus tree.
Yeah, your tree spawns underneath it once you've picked, right?
Or like you get a new brand new focus.
Jesus, I'm retarded. There we go. Okay.
So
Dude,
why
you
is
already have the symbols, man.
the
Good job.
first focus?
Yeah, what is that first thing though?
The first thing is just it's by I just like having one at the top that gets bypassed instantly. It just looks better in my opinion.
Okay.
He's done the same thing in the default. I quite like it.
It's
kind of like a category focus. It starts off completed.
I've been playing well after this. I don't want to sleep. Fuck sleeping.
And everything like this, it's like I like having the category at the top.
Okay. But yeah, and after that comes the free trees that are very equal but also different. Yeah. Let's start working on that. 100%. Like I'm totally open to do it like in the next days already.
Yeah.
Get busy on that shit.
The only thing is, whatever work you guys do, please put it like somewhere on the drive so we can save it. Okay?
That's the biggest thing. I will write everything down. Sure. I will.
Yeah, we'll put it into Google Docs and then we can work with that and share.
Okie dokie pokey.
Nice.
Yeah, then I would guess we just meet up and redesign the first 5 nations and then talk about that. Yeah. Okay. They should be blue and red because they can choose the same nation, right? What? Anyway,
to blue and red, that's easy. That's not.
Yeah, blue and red. Yeah, that's the best. Anything else, guys? You want to talk about?
Yeah, Nath, is there anything else from the game? Because you played 3 games
pick
for
the
money.
same nations?
I think we don't do mirror match.
Oh,
well, how does that work then?
No, there needs to be mirror, man. There needs to be mirror.
You need to, so basically you'd have all I would do is
want both players to be able to take UK.
Just have an if statement. If other guys picked it,
it's like Protoss versus Protoss, you know.
Oh,
I hate that. Guys should be picking the nations at the same time anyway. So that's just gonna create issues in my opinion.
I don't think it's
every good RTS has mirror matches, man.
I think it's possible. I think all you need to do is do an if statement, and then you just build a separate
You can have focuses tied to other nations' focuses.
Yeah, no, but then they had to complete it already, and then you.
I just gotta say, I'm ultra against that. That is taking so much freedom away.
Is it the one who clicks first gets it?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's really dumb.
I think we can do mirrors. I think we can do it.
Yeah,
in terms of the visual stuff,
it's just easier now.
The only slight difficulty is the visual stuff. But then I'll just make a second Germany that has maybe you have like primary Germany that has like a Berlin capital. Then you have secondary Germany that has a Königsberg capital or something like that. You know?
And it can be like
old history. Let's go. We love
and
it.
Just to be clear too, if we went down the bans route, there's no mirror matches too, right? It's the same thing, probably. Oh no, you would end up with 3 nations and you could both pick the same one. Oh,
the pure soul of this mod, right, has to always be esports, and mirror is so esports.
Think about League of Legends, think about Dota. Those are all you can ban that person, the other person can't pick it.
But there you have like 80 heroes.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. Yes, that's true. Yeah, good point.
Hey,
look, and all this stuff can change as we develop this. We can change our minds too. So don't worry. But if you want to do it that way, we can do it that way.
But at least we know now. How do you say in English? We know a roadmap. We have a roadmap.
Exactly.
That's really cool. Okay, well then also we work on the focus trees. When you guys tell me the new version is out, I'm gonna make a date for CMOBs versus College. For you, chat, every single donation is the prize pool of CMOBs versus College. Yeah.
Cool. If we're gonna end the call, I just want to everybody.
Sorry.
No, I was gonna say I want to talk to everybody else. If Tommy's gonna leave the call just really quick after this about the tasks.
I just wanted to say that I generally feel like, without coping, that every single meeting so far is ultra productive, man. No bullshit, no blah blah, just really productive shit. That was very good.
Hey, we're all adults here, right?
Yeah, which is very rare in this shit, bro.
Wait, I'm an adult now?
Yes, you are.
Officially.
You're an ICU
That's
installment,
right.
okay?